Good morning, Friday, April 11th. A lot of stuff going on today, a lot of announcements, but tariffs, pulling forward sales, Tesla and China. Oh, by the way, this is the Automotive State of the Union. I'm still not into that new intro yet.
I caught it like as you were going through the three, and I was like,
something felt wrong. As you
Friday.
could tell, like I had this like little stumble in the beginning where you could tell I wasn't fully confident in what I was saying, and it's just
it's fine.
And that's why I figured it out. This is the Automotive State of the Union, folks.
Yeah. If you didn't
Paul,
know
that's
this,
Kyle.
This
what am I
fully
supposed
live.
to say? Yeah.
This is fully live. We pre-record nothing.
Unashamedly live.
It's perfect.
I mean, that's like, who wants the PR version of something?
Nobody wants that. I mean, nobody wants the hard
publicly traded companies want that, Kyle. Which is why we will never be publicly traded.
I'm just not going to be publicly traded, and I won't have a PR department.
I would break so many things.
Traded issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course not. Listen, ASOTU CON, talking about real-time conversation that's unfiltered, where people have their guard down and they're willing to share what they're actually doing and help one another innovate. We call that ASOTU CON. It's in May. It's about a little over 30 days away. Tickets prices are going up on Sunday. All right. It'll be our final ticket raise from the early bird that started back on Black Friday, where we sold a bunch of tickets at half price. Well, they're about to be full price, right? They're not full price yet. Go to ASOTUCON.com, get your tickets. Both dealer tickets and industry partner tickets will be seeing a bump in just 2 days. Make sure you go there. I've seen a lot on the internet about mobile service lately. We're going to have an amazing mobile service session, along with a bunch of other sessions about AI and company culture and sales strategy and bringing growing multi-rooftop stores. What else am I missing? Data analytics, marketing, brand building,
mobility for the industry,
EVs,
growth strategies, acquisition strategies.
The acquisition strategies. Look, this is really a holistic event where you can actually learn a lot of something about the area that you're most concerned with. And we always encourage people to go to 1 or 2 sessions that do not involve their daily activities, because we fully believe that understanding the entirety of the business and bringing it closer together is how you win, is how customers win. And by the way, ASOTU CON is just a very meticulously put together event. It's like South by Southwest meets NADA, maybe somewhere in there, somewhere there. And barbecue, James Ganther in the comments. And don't forget the barbecue. I don't know what he's cooking. No pun intended, but maybe pun intended. But there's an amazing graphic out there. Jim Ganther holding, in front of a grill, holding a spatula. And he's got something very special that he's going to be bringing. We don't even know what it is. It's going to be part of the surprise. And we have an opening keynote announcement that we're going to make on Monday.
So look out for that.
Oh, yeah. Talk about some understanding about some big business across the board, retail, culture, the whole thing. So we're going to announce that on Monday, and I'm going to make an even bigger announcement. Not the very first piece, very first item that's going in the swag bag showed up yesterday. This is, you're not going to be able to see the logo. This is the ASOTU CON pen. It's how you haven't seen this yet. And
that's a nice pen. You can tell it's like thick so that like you can hold it well.
It's got a rubber grip right here.
Yeah.
The ink doesn't smear, but rolls super smooth. Listen, this is the pen I've been relying on. This is the pens we have for Congruent. This is a Clarity Con pen that's the same pen.
Oh, my
very first pen. And so, like, who wants a crappy pen?
So reliable.
And we also have a really sick craft paper journal that's going in the swag bag this year.
I felt that this week. It's
unbelievable. That journal and this pen. I mean, not like you come to a show like this for the swag, but when you get the swag bag, you're going to be like, I might come for the swag next year.
That's right.
What else?
Let's get into it.
One more thing before we do. If you are in the LinkedIn world, you should follow ASOTU, by the way, but you should go to Kyle's page today and just look at the post he made this morning, because there is just an insane amount of investment capital represented on the stage he's on and is going to be again. Talk about that image.
Well, yeah. So you've got Bill Karras, Chase Frazier, and Steve Greenfield in that image, all with massive funds, multiple massive funds supplying the industry with the funds it needs to innovate. Then couple on that, Beth Hill from the shop, who they are with Ford Direct, has like poured tons into the industry for innovation over the last 25 years.
That's right.
Then we're adding Brian Donnelly to the stage this morning or this year from Autotech VC. And so that's coming in. you've got, I mean, just an incredible, and then I've got a couple dealers that are going to be in the pitch tank world as well that really know innovation, that are challenging stuff, that are going to be poking back at people. Hey, if you want to be on pitch tank, you can go to ASOTUCON.com/pitch tank, submit your videos. Cutoff ends tonight.
Yes. And as always, great job, Nathan, getting that post up that fast. That's really good. He didn't know that was coming.
Wow.
And thanks for bringing me donuts today. If you want to know the story behind that, go to my last post and read the comments. Also want to thank our friends at Reynolds and Gubagoo for being our presenting sponsor this year, making it all happen. We have a lot of sponsors that make this happen. And they're all committed, just like Reynolds and Gubagoo, to seeing this industry moving forward and serving the industry. So thank you. It's going to be a rip-roaring show in just over 30 days. Go to ASOTUCON.com. Get your tickets before they go up in price on Sunday. All right, let's talk about some news. Tesla has stopped taking orders for its U.S.-made Model S and Model X crossovers in China.
Wow.
As trade tensions between the U.S. and China flare up once again. So no more exports of Teslas to China right now. China is going to be increasing its tariff on U.S. goods to 125% on April 12th, including cars. Tesla's Model S and X are built in Fremont, California, making them directly affected. The option to order these models did disappear from Tesla's China site early April. Tesla's Shanghai factory, which makes the Model 3 and Y, is not affected by the new tariffs. Obviously, the Model S and X made up fewer than 2,000 of their overall 661,000 unit sales in China. So I don't think
they're gonna be fine.
It's actually probably a little easier for them.
It's way easier. Think about all of the shipping logistics that you don't have to worry about from now on. But also now you've got 2,000 more vehicles that are U.S. made, that aren't affected by tariffs, that U.S. customers can also purchase. So look at the way that kind of just shifted. It gave more access to some of those vehicles and a higher capacity turn rate on vehicles that in the U.S. are more sought after, because we look for slightly larger vehicles than like the Model 3 would maybe be in the US. Like, we're more of an SUV culture. So I think, man, this actually is probably like really good for Tesla overall.
I know. I mean, obviously they're not commenting. I think they still don't have a PR department.
They don't have a PR.
Their PR department is one guy tweeting.
One guy. Can you imagine?
For better or for worse?
For better or for worse.
I mean,
like,
and
that's like a full-on marriage statement. It's like in sickness and in health. You know?
Elon Musk will be our total PR department. I know.
Brutal.
We still call it tweeting, Xing.
Are you allowed to call? Yeah. What do people say? I don't even know what people say.
I think people say tweeting.
I saw your tweet on X. Oh, that's weird.
Going on X to tweet. Tweeting on X today. I don't know. Well, speaking of,
last one felt weird.
Yeah, we're gonna keep moving. We need to just stop. Just
get out.
Just get the stop today. A spike in new car sales last month wasn't just spring fever. According to Cloud Theory, auto shoppers raced to dealerships in March, we know, to beat looming tariffs. Here are the numbers, though. March saw 1.31 million new vehicles sold, a 38% jump from February. Cloud Theory attributes 153,000 of those sales were pull forward sales due to fear of impending price hikes from tariffs. Average marketed prices rose about $1,100 from February through March, with SUVs, full-size pickups, and heavy-duty trucks seeing the most increase, thanks to V8 engines sourced from Canada. So the ones that would have been effective sooner. Discounts and incentives dropped by $432 in March as OEM braced for higher costs. Here's a quote from Cloud Theory's Rick Wainshaw. Says, while this led to very strong results in the short term, the longer term effects will likely be detrimental.
Yeah, you look at all the pull ahead here, right? And that's I think we're going to see that again in April, right? Because not all of those tariffs have gone in.
Yeah.
So how much pull ahead are we going to have, and will the demand still be there to carry us through the summer?
Yes, right.
It's still a question. I don't think there's much worry about it from the dealers that I'm talking to. But it is kind of like an interesting stat. Wild to see, though, and we're seeing this across a lot of manufacturers where prices are going up. Manufacturers trying to combat that to keep demand. So it seems like the manufacturers are still flush with some level of cash to be able to balance this. So maybe they did well during the COVID times to make sure that they were flush with cash to manufacture rebates and incentives. So I think all of that kind of combined, there's going to be this meat in the middle. And then when you see, things like interest rate reductions happening at the same time, that's going to balance for monthly payments, even if prices go up. I still think there might be like a very small blip right at the beginning of this thing when customers start to start to like the fear of perception overcomes reality. And then once that flips, it'll be right back.
I mean, if interest rates go down in a meaningful way and people start, I mean, I guess it's the whole theory behind like the strategy right now to grow the economy and make everything stronger as payment pressures decrease, even if prices increase, the balance. I don't know. And I wouldn't expect, it doesn't surprise me when you said you haven't really heard much from dealers on this right now. No. You know why? We're in the money, right? Like right now, when the showroom is packed and full, you're like, I'll worry about that in 2 or 3 months from now. But I guarantee you, if that comes in 2 or 3 months, it will be on the front page of every automotive news oriented article. And we'll be talking about it then, but we'll deal with it then.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now?
What are you going to do?
Honestly, what are you going to do? You're just going to like focus on the customer, focus on your people. And speaking of focusing on your people,
segue
time. Ran that through. There's a new Harvard study, they're smart over there, that says the key to lowering retail's notoriously high turnover may be simpler than we think. The answer? Invest in frontline workers' career growth and mentorship. Researchers found that most low-wage workers actually want to keep their jobs to avoid disruptions in their lives, especially once they're comfortable with, get this, their co-workers. Over 60% said they would stay with their employer if they saw a real path to advance. But with many supervisors overseeing up to 20 employees, personalized feedback and coaching are becoming rare. Employees often fear asking for promotions or raisings, worried it might cost them their jobs. A related McKinsey study also showed career development was the top reason non-managers wanted to leave. Their advice: empower managers, because their impact cascades through the whole organization. Something about something people, right?
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is just when Harvard releases a study showing it, right? Everybody leans in just a little bit more, right? But the reality is the true. It's something we talk about a lot in this industry. It's really the more than cars mentality, is that when you focus on the people are the catalyst, and thriving people and thriving culture are really where innovation thrives, are where customer experience thrives, where retention thrives. And, you know, it's not just these little improvements and best practices that you can do. This is the long game of the most successful businesses. And the ones that do the most for the community is that they focused on mentorship. And I can't think of another industry that has so many areas of mentorship built in than the auto industry. People still mess it up.
You're right.
But training is part of the culture of automotive, like from service to sales. And I think if you just push that down, and like the great organizations that we see, like Bozard Ford and Bozard University, when you push that training and that mentorship down just a level, right? Because like when you have sales, push it down just a little bit to, you know, lower entry level positions, to lot folks, to receptionists, to all the people that do these jobs. You unlock a whole pathway to people that are going to get fired up about what they do, care about what they do. And again, this industry, like, they could definitely end up as a manager, like relatively quick.
And not just a manager, but an owner. How many owner operators do we know that came from washing cars legitimately? Not like their daddy owned the dealership and they wash cars. It's like, no, I started washing cars. Now I own 5 stores.
Yeah. Or washing cars,
and so if
doing
that's
nothing.
The reality.
Let me name two of the biggest groups that we know of. People started at entry level positions.
Yeah.
Greg Sioka.
There it is.
Ever heard of him? Sioka? They're in the top 150. They're in the top 50. Scott Beeler. I mean, I think they forgot to apply this year, so they disappeared from the list. But I think they're in the 20s somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's nowhere else like it.
Like, there's nowhere else like it. So if you're in management and leadership or anything like that in the industry, just recognize that that's the career growth opportunity. So why wouldn't you give that opportunity to every single one of your employees that you possibly can?
Well, we're going to have some conversations around that as well with a lot of people that maybe started at the bottom and now they're here at ASOTU CON. Again, go to ASOTUCON.com. Get your tickets before prices go up on Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow morning, Saturday.